Hey, it's been quite a while. Between moving and getting ready for a new job and just everything, personal issues, just haven't really been on here. So I was thinking about the personal issues I'm having and how they actually apply pretty much to all of us. Like right now it hit me that in my relationship we use the term you and I a lot. What did you do? Oh, I did this. Well, you did that. And it just goes, it's a competition, it's competitive speech. Whereas instead, it's we are doing this, we're working hard, we're bringing everything together. And that's more of a unified team. And that's what I've been looking for my whole life, teammates, not competitors to compete against, because I'm not trying to be better than everybody else. I'm trying to be better than me, and that's it. So when it comes down to it, I'm pretty sure it's called Ubuntu. It's an African thought or belief that if one gets it, everyone should have it. And that's in regards to their life, that the food, whatever it is, that if one person's suffering, then everybody is suffering because you don't want to see your brothers, sisters, mothers, fathers, aunts, uncles, grandparents. You don't want to see anybody hurting. But that's where the you and I comes into. Oh, you already had that. You don't get that. So if we could just learn to restructure our thoughts and the way that we perceive the world around us and how it's happening for us, because I always have to keep reminding myself this is not happening to me, it's happening for me, that any rejection is my protection. So as difficult as life may seem, and believe me, I feel like I'm in a ship right now in a chaotic storm out in the middle of the ocean in a tiny dinghy, not even in a ship. um, I'm just waiting for the whole thing to capsize. And I know that I'm protected. I know that I'm loved, and I know that I'm trying to push away these scarce mentality thoughts, which that is a life lesson. It's a hard one. And a lot of us don't even realize that we suffer from this. If you're working a full-time job and you're trying to raise a family and you're trying to make sure everybody's okay and you're still not barely making it, you're in that same scarce mentality. And a lot of us are afraid of success, which we don't realize because we're so used to failing. We're so used to having to try over and over and over, lose things. It's easier to not have something than to want something and not get it, if that makes sense. And my whole life I've gone without. Even in my marriage that I had, I went without. The last relationship I was in, I went without. I did everything on my own, and it just became life. I thought that was how it was supposed to be. And then something kept saying, this is not life. This is not how this is supposed to work out. And the more that I heard that message, I began to look for the we people. Where's my weeples? My clan, my soul tribe, and the people that want to work together and make sure that everyone is taken care of. Because we live in a world of, I'm sure, over 7 billion people right now. So how any of us can be struggling is beyond my thought process. How anybody can be feeling hurt, misery, pain, when we all can do this for free. How are you today? Communication, acting like each other matters. It's so simple in my mind that there used to be a way of life where people were seen. We weren't shells of human beings walking around. We weren't ghosts that didn't exist. We weren't individuals struggling all on our own. And I don't know how we made it to this point of life. But when it comes down to it, it's I can't even say it's unfair because then it sounds like I'm crying. I'm not crying. I'm encouraging everybody to start looking at your neighbors and your friends and your family and remembering there were good times in your life and hold on to those and not so much of the animosity that seems to swell up, because it's odd that animosity, that distrust, that hurt, anger, fear, all of that can take over our emotions. And when that takes over our emotions, oh, good Lord, you find yourself sitting and what's going to happen next? How's this going to work? Oh my God, why'd I do that? Why'd I say that? Why'd they do that? Why'd they say that? Just, it's not even a carousel. It's not fun. It's more like the spin cycle on the washing machine. So, sorry, I just took a shower. My lips are really dry. But, like I said in the very beginning, if we can get rid of the you and I and turn it into we, we are uniting for something better and greater. We are working for a brighter future. We are happy with where we're at. And I know it's really hard. And if all you have is you, still remember there's a we in you. You have that God spirit flowing through you. You have your ancestors walking with you. You have a soul tribe that's not necessarily with you, but they're out in the world and you are a part of a network, whether you know it or not. It's a vibration. So you'll spend time trying to find them once you realize that you're not happy in the life that you're in. But also when you start making progress, it's coming from a person who very much knows it's scary. When you start giving your heart to somebody and opening up to somebody as somebody who's been through so much trauma, and I would say lifelong trauma, it's really hard to trust that this person is here to help me up and not push me back down and laugh in my face and say, see, I knew you needed help. You're not as strong as you thought. Because honestly, that's still the mindset that tries to pop up in my head. And I keep going, no, no, I do have people on my side. And then that little devil's like, no, you don't. Why would anybody want to be on your side? You're useless. You can't even do anything on your own. And it goes back and forth, that I have to control these thoughts. And I share these stories with you about what's going on in my own head. For one, so you don't feel alone. Two, to let you know I'm human. It happens to all of us. Our brains go on and on about situations that have happened, about ways that can go wrong, about why your plans aren't going to work, why you need to grow up. You have multiple ways that your brain attacks you, because your brain, your thought process is really the only way that the devil can get to you, turn you against yourself. And a lot of time there are participants in this. There's people that you meet. There is a level of being of every person you will meet, because we're in a bowl per se. If you look at it like Rice Krispie treats, somebody, or the Snap Crackle Pop, is that Rice Krispie cereal? The milk goes in and it starts hitting the ones that got touched with the liquid right away. But then you have those that kind of straggle and they're not quite awake. And then you have the ones that already popped out. And it just, like I'm saying, there's a level to everything, even within one construct. So be cautious with who you trust. Be cautious with who you tell your life to. But don't think everyone's out to get you, because like I said, this is a trauma-based way of thinking. But most of us were already born into trauma, so it's kind of hard. We're overcoming this together. And even though I'm still going forward, there's still trauma that I'm dealing with in my life. It's a part of who I am. It's a caminando, and I've said this before, but that never-ending spiritual walk to where you keep going and going and you keep undoing layers to yourself. And the more you get in to the core of you, that's where most of your pain is going to be. And if you have to be alone to go through this, to scream and cry and feel that pain without making anyone else feel your pain, I encourage you to do it. And if you feel like you're at a breaking point, pray. And if that's not good enough, reach out to somebody. Like I've said several times, you can reach out to me. I've been there still going through it. And we can all do it together because it takes a lot. And you have to find that network that's willing to stand by your side, that's willing to go through the muck with you, that's willing to be vulnerable and open and share their stories with you as well. Because you're not going to heal when you're around a bunch of people putting on a front, or haters, or those people that just say, I don't know why it's so hard for you. Because honestly, they're lying to you. They haven't put forth the effort. They don't know. If they're telling you that you're going through something you don't have to, they've been too scared to try. So if you're going through it right now to make your life better, and I mean going through the process of healing yourself, then I encourage you, don't stop. No matter how low you feel. And to be honest, years ago, I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because life was too difficult and I didn't see another way out. Luckily, that was not allowed for me. And I know a lot of you are at a breaking point. A lot of us are at a breaking point. But understand, when you're at that breaking point, I don't remember who says it, but the cracks are where the light gets in to heal your pain. And that is something that you got to be broken like a nut to see what's on the inside. And it will drive you crazy. You will question your sanity. Multiple times. You will feel yourself being attacked from every which direction you could be. You know, my grandmother had called me the other day, and I had mentioned I got a new job, and all she said was, when are you going to write a book? I said, Nana, I've already written a book. Okay. And I have a YouTube channel, and I have a blog that I'm working on. Does it make you money? And Nana, I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it to help other people because I know what it's like, and I'm sharing my story. I'm trying to help them get through what they're going through. Oh, I know you're sweet, but that's not going to pay your bills. That hurt. There wasn't even a congratulations on getting into a home there. And it made me realize that my family is very toxic. That's where a lot of my own self-judgment came from, was expecting others to encourage me, to see my successes and celebrate with me. But sadly, every time they see them, they bring up who I was, which is, that person's been dead and gone for a long time. They bring up what I could do better. It's just never really a congratulations or I'm proud of you. Even when I wrote my book and my mom read it, she said, you know, there's two things that I don't like. One, I'm not in it. And two, I don't like the way it ended. I said, thanks. I appreciate the advice. It hurt, but it was okay because I knew I wrote it. I knew I succeeded. I knew that it was not about what anybody else had to say about what I was doing with my life. And it took me a long time to realize it doesn't matter what they say. If they encourage me, we're going to make it. We're going to make it. So I just, like I said, I encourage you, try to take out the you and I, the combative terms. And if there's anyone that you can we with that person. If you have to do it alone, just remember to always give thanks because you're not alone. You are never alone in this world. So I'm going to leave it on that note and finish getting ready for the day. And I will talk to everyone later. Peace, love, and light. Bye-bye.